not miss that blueprint. It was epic. It was amazing. If you don't believe me, go on Facebook and check out the reviews. Check out the people who are posting like you wouldn't believe. That was the place to be last weekend. So let's jump in to today's deal reveal for another. Thanks, Indira. Very nice of you. Thanks. We're getting excited today for another deal. This deal, why are we getting excited? First of all, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm all pumped up. I'm all hot under the collar here. We have an opportunity, and we have to look at it quickly. We have to make sure, and we have to decide, is this a deal or no deal? And we have to do it in 5, no more than 10 minutes to get a good sense of what's happening so we can jump in and consider this as your next potential investment. So we are analyzing deals quickly. We are looking in the US. So we are looking at 4 to 10 times more cash flow than what we can find in Canada, typically. So we are making investments when and where the numbers make sense. And today's deal is submitted by our very own Janie. So this is one of our deals. It's one that Janie actually took from. Anyways, you'll get to see a little bit more about it. And I want to remind you that these deal reveals are to be interactive, right? If you have a deal that you'd like me to showcase on our deal reveal, all you have to do is send us an email, go to our website, send the address and as much or as little information as you want. And I'm going to spend a couple minutes and we're going to vote deal or no deal. So today's opportunity or potential opportunity is this property here in a suburb of Cleveland, Ohio. It is in Cleveland Heights. Now, full story here. This is a property that we purchased many years ago. We paid $25,000 for this property. And we recently, as in about a month, almost a month and a half ago now, we converted this property into a short-term rental. And it's up to you to say if this is a deal or no deal. So let's jump in right now. Deal or no deal, at any point, you can just chime in, yes or no, whether or not this is something that would interest you. So we start off the same way always. We put in our property address and we get a good sense of what's happening here. Now, for those of you who've been following week after week, you've noticed with me that Trulia no longer has the crime map, unfortunately. Hopefully it'll come back, but for now, not so much. So right now we're looking for the best alternative to get a sense of what the neighborhood's like. So we have Neighborhood Scout, we have getcrime.com, we have Area Vibes. All of these other websites is where you can get a sense of what the crime is in this particular area. Now, I know this area, obviously, we've been investing here for many, many years in Cleveland Heights. And I know for a fact that this area is good. This part of Cleveland Heights is very low in crime. And here we go. This is it. Trulia right here. It says that this property is worth about $141. Not bad if we bought it for $25,000. And I didn't even know it was that high up. But let's make sure, because we are buying a residential property here. And so one of the golden rules of real estate is buy at a discount. So we want to make sure that we are, in fact, buying at a discount. And so Trulia's opinion of the value is $140-ish thousand. Zillow, let's see if Zillow has any idea. Zillow's pulling the same one. So they're obviously pulling from one from the other. Trulia is probably pulling from Zestimate, honestly. So that's what 141, that's a beautiful increase in value. Even I wasn't aware. Look at that nice spread between 121 and 162. So full transparency, we bought it for 25. Right after we bought it, this was a Burr property. So we put in about 40,000. I think the real numbers were about 38, but let's say 40,000 at the time. So we were all in for 65. Then we went to a bank, we had it appraised, and at the time it appraised for 103. So we refinanced, got all of our money back, and we put a tenant in there for $1,200 a month. And we had done that for years and years and years. We had all our money back, we had our cash flow, and we had the money back to do it again and again. And recently, that tenant, a couple months ago, that tenant decided to leave. And so we said, this is an opportunity here, because actually, because the second floor or the third floor, I always forget, base floor 1, 2, second floor is a finished attic. And we converted that to a bedroom, actually quite a large bedroom. So it's actually a 4-bedroom. It has 1 full bath and 2 half baths, because there's another half bath in the basement. And we have a half of the basement's finished as well. So he says, hey, this is a large property. We can sleep a lot of people in here. How about we make it into a short-term rental? And so for the last month or so, it has been a short-term rental. And well, let's take a quick look. Let's say you wanted to consider this property as a short-term rental. You can go to airdna.co right here, and you're able to, in the rentalizer function, put in a property address, put in the specs. How many bedrooms is this? This is actually closer. This is more of a 4-bedroom. I'm going to say 2. And sometimes this little site is glitchy, so just be patient with it. 4-bedroom. Let's give it a minute to think before I ask it too much. Okay. Then 2 bedrooms. And in that extra attic bedroom, we put 2 beds and a pull-out couch. We could actually sleep 12 people in this house, heads and beds. So with those specs, we can get a sense for what the property can generate in a year. Okay. So $40,000 as opposed, and this is a market average for a property with these specs. Now, since we have our own in-house professional management and the property is really nice, we put a ping pong table, we put a foosball table, we put an air hockey table, we put a table, we put all the tables in there. And so we called it Cleveland's best fun house. So we are expecting to far exceed this as an annual gross income. So we're going from a $1,200 a month, so that's a $14,000 a year gross income, into a market average of a $40,000 income, which we hope at least to make $50,000 due to the last investment we put in. We put in another about $15,000 to spruce it up. After the tenant left, we spruced it up. We put in the extra ping pong table, all these things, and we made it real nice. We staged it up real good. So we put in maybe another 15. So for those of you who are adding up, we bought it for 25. We put in 40 originally, but we had all our money back. So we're into 65, and now we added another 15. So now we're in the 80s, right? $80,000 to create $50,000 of gross income. So buying at a discount, do you think there's cash flow in this deal? I'm telling you that even at $1,200 a month, there was cash flow. It was, just your baseline, about $100, $150 a month of cash flow. But we didn't care. We had all our money back at the time. And now we're going to go in here and triple, maybe quadruple the gross income. So what do you think happens to the cash flow? So let's say my expenses are half of that, which they're not even. $25,000 a year in cash flow. That's almost $2,000 a month in cash flow out of this investment, which I guess you could say we have 15,000 into it, but we don't even have that because last year we actually refinanced the property in a portfolio, cashed out the equity, the rise in equity that happened over the COVID years. And so we actually cashed out. So we can say there's no money left in this deal and we're cash flowing $2,000 a month. So if you thought in the past weeks where I was always showing you these Florida properties, right, these $1 million Florida properties or 700,000, and I was showing you some really wonderful cash flows, well, maybe, just maybe, it doesn't have to be in Florida. So long as you're bringing a product that's top shelf and you have top shelf management involved, there might be something to say here. So 10 minutes, and I give you a lot of information that was way beyond just the regular deal reveal happening here. So 10 minutes, is this a deal or no deal for you? Is this the type of property you would buy and add to your investing portfolio? Harriet says, super deal, loves the cash flow. Indira, yes, you're in Ohio, that's right. Next time we're there, we'll definitely have to She loves her city. Thank you, Indira. It's so nice to have some local people who love Cleveland. We've been making foreigners love Cleveland for years, but it's nice to have some local people as well. Puria, very good. Javad, of course that's a deal. Vincent says it's a deal. Marie says it's a deal. Wonderful. I think we have a consensus here. We have a deal in the house. Let's see if I can, well, for anybody who's interested in this, send us an email and we'll send you the link to this particular listing, and you can take a look at all the pictures and everything Janie did. That's beyond the scope of our deal reveal here. But the point is, in 10 minutes, not even, we have a good sense if this is an opportunity or if we should just move on to something else. And they keep on coming in. Sandra says it's a deal as well. So that's perfect. Is it for sale? No, this is in our portfolio, Brad. This is definitely what we're going to keep. But you bring up a good point, right? Is this a property that maybe you'd sell for its full value at 140? Or maybe because you've done this to it, maybe as a flip, maybe that's a business model, right? Rather than just flip at normal retail market, you do something amazing to it, you make it a very high cash flowing asset, and then you can sell it, maybe not to a home buyer, because that's not what they're looking for, but you sell it to an investor who likes cash flow, right? If 150 a month cash flow actually came out to a 10 cap, imagine what the cap rate is if you're bringing in 1,000 of cash flow or a 1,500 of cash flow. The numbers just become ridiculous, and that becomes very attractive for an investor. And perhaps if you're talking to a pure cash flow investor, they're willing to pay 200,000 for that property. Heck, maybe even 300,000, because it would still be above a 15 cap at that price. So very, very cool. We have over the years developed many, strategies, including short-term rentals. So really quickly, this is to show you that we mind management. So we're minding management in Ohio and Florida for short-term rentals. We don't manage your long-term rentals. We have managers for that, but we do manage short-term rentals, and we have been for over 5 years now, or just about 5 years. So we are really technology driven and short-term rental, and we want the top shelf properties. We don't just want any property and make it into a short-term. No, we want the top end. That property, we already have bookings out in June and July for $400 a night in Cleveland. $400 a night. That does something to your cash flow. So how do we get that? How do we get those high numbers? It's by providing experiences that guests will always remember and rave to their family and friends. And that's obviously only going to help the remarketing of the property year after year. So as I said, we've been doing short-term rentals for many, many years in Canada, Quebec, Ontario, in Ohio, Cleveland, and now for the first time ever, we are in Florida. Oh, and here's actually the property right here, the one that we just showcased today. So we got the air hockey and the foosball and the framing of the art pieces that actually go in the corner of the rooms. So we're always trying to stick out a little bit. Very, very cheap in terms of cost to make this effect if you know how to do it right. That light fixture is $12, for example, but it looks very, very nice. So in Cleveland, it works. And as I said, in Florida as well. And so for those of you who were part of the blueprint this past weekend, we talked about this. I did a good even spread between long-term rentals and short-term rentals. And well, you basically do what you want. But there's something to be said about these high-end short-term rentals in Florida. Some of these properties are bringing in $1 million or close to $1 million a year in Florida. Can you imagine one property generating $1 million a year? And this is the target for this particular property, which we purchased at the beginning of the month. And we are going to make over $150,000 of income off this one property alone. So, but this property on average doesn't make 150,000. The property like this usually makes about 80, 90 at best on average. And so how are we going to get those? How are we going to double the income? It's really by differentiating ourselves. Look at these. These properties are making $400,000, $500,000 a year, $300,000 a year, high $2,000 a year. Well, yeah, they have a bowling alley in the house. Every room is painted by a Disney artist, and there's theming, right? There's extra amenities that really make it unique and desirable to travelers. And so we are aiming for 150. We're aiming to do better than this in terms of quality of work. And the property is well on its way now. We already have 2 rooms completed, so it's very, very exciting. Only 6 more to go. And so we want to beat this quality, and our expectation is to make 150 a year. So that's the target, that's the numbers on what we're looking to do right now. And a big key to this equation is the management that's going to support and handle the investment. This is not long-term rentals. It's a lot more complex. There's a lot more moving parts. And so your manager better be specialized in short-term rentals. There's guest communications that come in at all time, day and night, and you have to be ready for that. Are you only on Airbnb, or are you cross-listing on VRBO and Booking.com and a personal website and a personal and a professional Facebook page and a booking page, and all this? Is all that part of it? Who's managing your pricing, right? Who's optimizing the calendars? And we talked about interior design and photography, obviously super important if you're going to theme it. If you're going to put $100,000 or $200,000 in theming, you better have nice pictures and staging at the end of it. But all those check-ins and check-outs, you're basically running a hotel, right? It's a distributed hotel if you have more than one of these properties. So hotel hospitality is all involved in this. People want to check in early, check out late. People want to check in at midnight. What do you do with keys and check-ins and check-outs, right? Your manager handles that entire process for you. So all it is for you is a passive investment. Cleanings after every guest, maintenance repairs, emergency repairs. How do you handle all this? Specialty insurance. All these fun things are included in a good and top-notch professional manager. And this is really where we stand out. It's the theming, instructing you and guiding you to invest in an investment strategy that has incredible cash flow if you do it right. So the theming, having something like this in your garage is not impossible in the type of properties and products that we're talking about. If anybody is interested in, they're interested in a particular property, just send us the address and we'll write up a complimentary market report for you to tell you and guide you through that process. We pay for the data, right? It's about $1,000 a month for this data, and we have all the data, and so you don't have to spend that yourself, and you get all the benefits by working with us. And since these are properties that are probably in the sunny state of Florida, you might want to have some personal enjoyment out of it too. And because it's short-term rental, you can just tell us when you want to be in the property or when you want it to be a pure investment. So you can jump between lifestyle and investment, and even using it, it pays you. So how awesome is that? We think it's pretty awesome. We've got all the data. We can recommend the markets that are the best for investing based on macroeconomics, and we can also go very, very granular with average occupancy rates, and we're really going to hit this top line here. We're in the top 10% of management companies offering a top 10% product. So our occupancy rates are comfortably above 80% year round, and hopefully average even higher than 80–85% year round, with bookings that come in at $500, $600, $700, $800 a night, $1,000, $1,200 a night in peak season. That's where we're aiming. So running even some conservative numbers on these, 85% occupancy at $100 a night, we're bringing in over $10,000 a month. And yes, the management does get paid, and that's obviously where we stay in business, but we're providing you so much value compared to what a long-term rental would do on this property. You are tripling the income and more than tripling your cash flow on the same property, because we decided to have an investment strategy that was maybe a little stronger than a long-term rental in this market, for example. So, basically all this to say, double to triple your income in 2 to 3 months. That's what we want for you by jumping into short-term rentals with us in Florida. And for those of you who saw the ads of the blueprint or who attended the blueprint, now you know that using your RRSPs is a possibility to do it. And so suddenly there is money available. There are billions of dollars in RRSPs in Canada, and that is now available to you to invest and to join the lifestyle. And so that is it. This was last weekend, and our editors, our tech team has been hard at work. The blueprint has already been fully edited and uploaded to the portal. And for anybody who is interested in catching the recording, we are leaving it up for a limited amount of time. So you can go here, n4tblueprint.com. That's going to lead you to getting that recording. And so I don't know for how long we're going to keep it up, but the recording is available. And anybody who does go through and purchases the recording of the last blueprint, you will also get a seat to the next time we do the blueprint live. So you will have the recording now so you can take action. And next time we do it, you'll be in the room as well to get any updates and to be re-immersed into it to really make sure you take action on your dreams, basically. So yes, you can do it. And this is how you can get into the game. You can buy and invest in vacation rental properties, which you might thought had been a pipe dream. Even though it's Florida, cash flow is possible. Who would have thunk, right? So no one should be investing in the US without the proper foundation. And that's why we created the blueprint in the first way. There's a good way, there's a bad way of investing in real estate, regardless of where you invest. And so we want to show you the very best way we know, which now includes RRSPs. So that is it. Hopefully you enjoyed. We'd love to see you very soon. That's our deal reveal. And so off we go.
Don't wait for tomorrow.